Space there. That was my own fault for pushing the wrong button. I just want to welcome you to our webinar this morning. We are going to jump right in here, especially since I've wasted a minute there by talking on mute. We're going to be talking about NavEasy Security. Just a reminder that if you have any questions, go ahead and type them right into that question box. Also, we will be putting the recording of this webinar up on our website later on today. So without further ado, Per, I will hand it right over to you.
Thank you, Abby. I'm going to talk about our NavEasy security solution today. I'm Per Mogensen from merchtool.com. We are an ISV developing tools for NAV. We have been in business for more than 6 years now, and Easy Security is by far the biggest product we have now. Easy Security is a complete solution for NAV security, and you're going to see this one in 2016 today because it's the latest version, but it actually also works in the classic version. And one of the things about our solution, especially for login and permissions, is that you can set up security using our solution in 2009 or older databases and actually have one of the things done you would have to redo when upgrading to a later version of NAV. As you also see, we have some data that actually makes that easier. Our solution is a CFMD solution, both for 2013 and 2015, and we're ready to do 17 when it ships here this fall, probably. Field level and data security is one part of our solution, and that is all the things you normally cannot do in standard NAV security. The other part is login and permissions. It's a set of tools for the standard NAV security, allowing a much simpler interface and also some very needed features in the security. We also have a light product. It's not really a subset of the thing above. It's only available until 2015, and it's a set of simple tools that allow you to copy from one user to another and do some simple recording of permissions also. Let's look at the login and permission part, the standard NAV security. One of the things we can do is we can record permissions. We record both data access and we record object execution. By knowing what objects are needed to be executed for a process, we can actually activate a whole new level of security very easily. We take away important objects from people, from everybody by default. Could be the chart of account page. It could be the code unit to make a quote into an order. Things like that one. And as you record permissions, we're going to capture those things being part of that recording in there. And that would allow people to go into those screens to do those functions for special objects. As you assign permission to users, we also group the permission sets and we also group the companies. So when you're dealing with typically 20, 50 permission sets and maybe in 5, 10 different companies, it can be a lot of records. With our setup, some users or many of the users maybe only have a single record, a group of permission sets like customer service, and a list of companies they're allowed to access. We can also deal with expiration date, and that is one of the things with the many hundred permission records you sometimes have for a user. If you add 20 more, figuring out what to remove 2 weeks later when somebody comes back from vacation, that's a tough part about that one. Setting up security in NAV is requiring normally some design about how you're going to do your security. We have something in Easy Security, we call it quick security. It takes kind of a fixed amount of time, 2 to 3 hours typically, to do the setup and test it out. And after that one, you don't really have to touch it anymore. The idea is that we will create users that can only read the database, users that can work in the system, and users that have super in there. And even the super level, or all of the levels, we can actually take certain tables away. We can also deal with objects, taking objects away from people also in there. And when you set up quick security, a normal working user cannot change any of the setup tables. For example, creating a new payment term. We have around 400 tables out of the box in NAV that by default is already read-only in there. So instead of using Super or Super Data for Go Live, if you spend these 3 hours configuring this initially, if you add more objects, if you add a lot of new code, there is a very little chance that quick security actually fails in that. And instead of going live with Super Data, because you didn't get time to finish all the security, you can actually go live with quick security that protects 400 of the 1,000 setup tables in NAV. The other level of solution is, of course, segregation of duties, or kind of the most specific permissions. And we ship over 100 permission sets with our solution that is based on a recording. And because they are recorded, we actually add a lot of customizations or ISV permissions and things like that on top of our permission sets. And as you will see, they're focused on a single task, so it makes it really easy to build the groups that are a combination of these permission sets. Every time we change security, we basically do it offline in our application. And we can both back, but we can also compare changes over time actually in the history of our security. The other part, of course, is the field level and data security. And that is those things you cannot do in standard NAV in here. We can make pages or forms read-only, or we can completely hide them for the user, so they're not allowed to open it. We can also make fields read-only, or we can completely hide fields. Actions are all the menu items in the Rotel client, the buttons in the Classic. That's really the only difference. In Classic, we can only deal with the whole button. In the Rotel world, we can actually control every little action in there. We can gray them out or completely hide them for the user. Making things read-only is great for salespeople that needs to create customers, but they can't add a credit limit or change the payment terms, for example, because it's read-only. You can also hide the cost field on the sales line, or you can make very simple screens by hiding a lot of the information. A common customization in NAV is to make a screen for the person out in the warehouse that have a lot less fields on it. We can accomplish all that simply by hiding the fields in here, or actions also. The last part of this is the ability to actually filter data. So each page in NAV can show a user-specific filter. It can be that you have salespeople that should only see sales orders for their location, and they should only be able to open sales orders where they are actually a responsible person on, for example, or the salesperson. Or you can have finance people that needs to see the GL account or chart of account, of course, but you could filter out the payroll accounts, and you could also filter out all the GL entries related to payroll based on these accounts, of course. All that thing can be accomplished easily with our data security. But let's take a look at it in here, and I will use 2016, and I have installed our solution in here, and the first thing I'm going to look at is how we maintain logins in here. In standard NAV, they have users, we refer to them as logins in here, and I have John, and he's a new person, and I go into set up security for him. You can, of course, as you normally do, set up permission sets, or it's called roles in the Classic world, but we can build groups in here. And these groups can combine all the things a user would need in here. Access to NAV, access to work in relationship management, and in sales receivable, basically what customer service would be needing in here. These groups can also be combined. So if you look at the lowest level of access, you just combine them together, plus add additional permission sets if needed in here. So as I add a single group of permission sets in here, We do the same with companies, and I have 4 companies in my database, all called Kronos, and then I built this group operations that are these 2 companies combined in here. Building groups have an easy benefit right away in here, of course, but it also makes it easy to have the same security in a test and a production database. And we can actually export everything from our application from one database to another one. So as you're working on maybe an upgrade and you're getting newer upgraded databases, you can just move all your security, including the access control for users with our import exports. But I'm going to select this group of companies also. If I update the login, I'll see how much data I would actually normally be maintaining in here. So I can see in standard NAV that would be 30 records. We also calculate something that is called summary permission. And that's basically the total access for the user by company, by table. That's very often the kind of information an auditor is looking for. So it's easy to generate the information that they actually want in here. I can see in my vendor ledger entry, I have only the read access in here. If John needs to be working as operation manager for a while in here, I can assign the permission to him, but I can also go in and put in a date where that permission actually goes away in here. So the same time I add something temporary, I also tell when it needs to go away in here. It won't actually be deleted. It will just have a check mark and no permissions. And we also use that when we're upgrading from your current security to a new settings. We don't have to delete all your old data. We can just mark it with no permission or bring it back again really easily in here. As I now update my login, I would see I added 10 more combination of companies and permission sets in here. My summary permission also changed because in North America now, I have insert and modify. And one of the things we can do is show where that actually came from. So based on these groups of permissions, these individual permission sets for these companies, I can see what level of access I get out here. So it's really easy here for me to tell that because I can post purchase orders. That's of course why I got the insert to the vendor ledger entry in here. So it's an easy way of looking back at the data in here. We actually also have expiry or an ability to just remove all the user's permissions simply by putting a check mark in here. Maintaining the logins is one of the things where you save quite a lot on a daily basis and get a lot more information. The other thing we have in our solution is, of course, permission sets. And that's where you initially need to spend a lot of time in here. We can record permissions. And when we record permission, we can use it both to correct permission errors or build new permission sets in here. So I'll go in here and start my recording. And we use SQL Profiler for the recording. It has a lot of advantages. One of them is that we can actually record a totally different user. We're looking at what's happening inside the database, not what's actually happening inside the client in here. So a user that get a permission error, they have to connect so we can start recording in here. But basically, we will then be able to just capture everything they are doing in here. In my case, I will, of course, capture myself in here. So as I start working in NAV, you can see back here, it starts getting busy because it knows both about what data is needed in here, but also what code is actually being executed or used in here. So as I go in here and simply modify a single address in here, it seems like it would be pretty limited what permissions I would be needing for that one in here. But the trace back here has captured it all. So I will go here and save it as a trace XML file. and I will then go back to our solution and build a new permission set in here. I'll just call this one edit custom also in here. I'll add the recording, and that's my XML file I saved. So since you save it as a file, it's easy to record in a test database and actually apply it in your production when you get a permission error if you need to do something to test this one in here. We have a summary that is great for also looking at performance details, but I really just want to get the total, and I can see I got 48 permissions required for just editing a customer in here. Of course, read and modify the customer, but I also read a lot of things for the fact boxes. I read and modify my contact and some other data in here. But if I look at the end, I also know what objects are executed, and that's really what's enabled us to take away objects from people. Because let's say you don't want people to go to the customer card normally, you could actually remove that with our object level security. And as I need that one for this process, I will of course get the execute back again. A really simple way of maintaining object access in here. As I add my permission set with these 48 or my recording, my permission set now gets 107. And this one is really a key feature in here. When I recorded something, I only had the absolute necessary permission, like my recorded modifier on the customer. If I need to modify the customer, I need to be able to look up to the location, salesperson, shipment method, and so on. And all those things are actually being added in here automatically. So if you had customization, as we install this application, we will copy your current security into our tables. We will scan your source codes. And as we have scanned your source codes, if you have a permission set based on recordings like this one, we will add your specific changes in there, either for ISVs or for customizations in there. With the solution, we ship a whole long list of new permission sets in here. These ones are based on task and recordings in here. And instead of looking at them inside NAV, I will look at a spreadsheet in here where they're a little more organized. What we did, we wanted to accomplish segregation of duties. To be able to segregate duties, you need to segregate each task so you can combine them the right way afterwards. And that's exactly what we did in here. We took the task of creating a customer, editing a customer, viewing customer information, creating related information, the different documents, only posting shipment, only posting invoices, and so on. And all these things are individual permission sets. They're based on recordings, and when they get into a customized database, the source code analyzer will improve on these ones with a lot of the customizations necessary or changes necessary for these permission sets. We also did the same for purchase. We did it for finance, and we did it for inventory. Around 80 permissions or so, covering a very large portion of NAV. And especially when you look at segregation of duties, that's a part where auditors are really picky because money is involved. And in this way, you have the core part of the application covered, and you can use either the permission sets for Microsoft or record additional ones if you use more parts of the application in here. As you have these very small tasks, you can now go in and say, what should our customer service do? And an auditor or a manager can easily make this decision now, because each of these ones really only allow you to do one task in NAV. So as they make this decision and you want to implement it in your security, what is in this column is simply a group in our system. So you take all these permission sets, add them into a group, and then you're done with it. We also have created permission set for the role centers. These permission sets don't allow you to really perform any task, but they allow you to click on all the menu items in your role center and see the data out there. We also change how the login works, so we don't really use any of the standard NAV basic parts in here. But all this one comes with Easy Security, and one of the first things you do is import these ones. A great thing about these permission set is that they actually are recorded in 2009, 13, 13R2, 15, and 16, and in 3 different country versions. So out of the box, they actually work in 15 versions of NAV in here. They also, with the source code analyzer, take into account a lot of the customizations. So you can take your security and redo it built on our permission sets in here. As we right now have version 4, it supports the current versions of NAV. We will ship future versions of this one where we support newer versions. As you import these permission sets originally, you can actually also import only new recordings. So in the future, when you upgrade, we will handle the things Microsoft changed, and you already handle the things you changed in here, allowing you a much smoother upgrade of your security in here. There's several more things in here about the login and permissions, but I want to switch to the other parts of our solution, and that is the field level and data security. Because you can do a lot with permissions, and with our solution, a lot more than you normally would be dealing with manually in here. But there are still certain things that just is not possible in here. If I look at a sales order, I would be able to create a sales order as a salesperson, but as I can create a salesperson or a sales, it means I can change any field in here. So just because I can edit this sales order and select a customer, it don't mean I should be able to change the payment terms or things like that one in here. And all those things you can't really avoid in standard NAV in here. Same thing goes about posting and post and print. There's not a lot of difference in permissions up here. It's basically just whatever the user select up here. With field level security, we can control all this in here. And we have a completely separate setup. So we don't really care if you're a super user initially. We can still control your security with this. I want to create a new record in here, and I just want to apply a default. So by leaving the user ID blank and selecting the table, I get read-only in here. Basically, this now applies to all users, including me in here. So now menu items gray out. And if I look at a single sales order, every field gray out, every action gray out. I cannot do anything any longer in here. I can just look at the data now. As it's said out here, it's read-only. I can then open up for myself and go in and say in table 36. Instead of the read-only, I could leave it blank and everything would be normal again. But I can select this basic code in here. And as I now go back to my list of sales orders and look at a single one, I will see that my statistics button came back on again. So I can now click on that one and it opened that screen for me. I also can change the sell to customer number. My invoicing information is still grayed out, but my shipping information in here, I can change some of the address information in here now. So most of the things are still locked down for me, but I can change a few things that I need to do in here. If we take a look at this basic code out here, we can for each page or form in the classic world have a setup in here. And same way as we use the blank user, I use page 0 and make it view out here, basically making so you can only see the page, you can't change anything or click on anything. I have then make exceptions for the quote, it's completely editable, my sales order is editable, and if I look at removing this statistics page from people, I could actually go in here and hide them for people in here. So even if I'm a super user, I can be prevented from using certain pages in here. If I go look at the individual fields in here, again, it's the same concept. I define what should be the default with field 0, and I will simplify this screen now. So I will hide every field in here, make my Celto custom number view, add a few more fields about the Celto, since I now was hiding everything in here. And I'll make those view. So I leave my ship to alone, and here's my Celtos that are made view in here. My actions are all the things in the ribbon. And again, I have a default in here. So I can go and hide everything in here. And I can add individual ones, or I can just go and add multiples with a function in here. So if I want to let people see my post and post batch, for example, I could go ahead and select those two and make them view in here. They'll be on the screen, but they will be grayed out so people can't change it in here. A few changes in here to my basic code. And if I now open my sales order, it's going to be very different. A few fields on the Celto tab. The shipping information in here, most of the other things are gone. My ribbon is now really simple up here. There's not a lot of things. And if I click on statistics, I just get an error. I'm not allowed to see that page in here. So it gives you a lot more control on those places where there's typically an issue with it. Another thing we solve is the fact that even if the same table is used underneath, if I go to a credit memo in here, it will still be completely locked down for me. I can't change anything on this credit memo in here. It is read-only for me now. So that's really one side of this application in here. You can implement this any way you want. It do require you run an installation wizard that do some code changes, but else you can add this and remove it again also. So there's not really a cost on upgrading. The last part of this is the ability to filter data out here. And if I look at it right now, I have multiple locations. If I want to filter so I only saw one location, I can create a data security code. And it's a very similar concept, except hiding things. We are filtering data now. For each page in a system, we can have a different setup. And I want to go in and get my location field in here. And I want to do a hidden filter. I don't want to let the users remove or even see this filter. So I'll go in and say I want either the blank or the blue one out here. We can also make more helpful filters. So if I only wanted to let people see the one with the status open, for example, I could go in and add an editable filter of open out here. So a user could only see the open ones by default or the not blocked items as another example, and then they could remove the filter if necessary. So all I have to do is apply my security. So I'll go in here and instead of field level, I'll add this data security code out here for the location. So as I now go back to my list of sales orders, it got pretty short in here. I can see my filter on status and another date filter up here, and I can clear all the filters, but it's not going to allow me to get around this blue location in here. I only see the blank and the blue one in here. We can also make these filters depending on the user in here. So if I look at it right now, I hard-coded this location in here. But we have something we call user filter, a way of mapping a user ID to around 30 dimensions in NAV in here. So I will create a new record and I will say for my blank user, my default out here, I want to let people see the blank and the blue one out here. But I will go in for myself and say I'm working in a different location. So for me, I should only see the blank or the red ones out here. So in that case, I have now mapped my user ID in here. You can also map a user to a salesperson or a list of salespeople or to a certain customers and things like that one, all within this user filter in here. And all this user filter it's actually a variable for our data security in here. So as I now look at this page 0, instead of having my hard-coded filter in here, I go into substitute values into my filter. And I will go here and do a lookup. And I have things related to date, to responsibility centers in the user setup, and then all the user filters. And I can see in my case, it's a blank or the red one out here. But we also have things like the work date or work months and so on, allowing an easy way of filtering helpfully only on the purchase orders within this month, for example. I want to select my user location or user filter location code, and I now get this variable in here in my filter value. So if I go back, look at my list of sales orders, I of course now only see the red ones in here, and I can clear the filters, but it's not going to allow me to get around the filter for the red ones in here. So it allows a great way of slicing the data in NAV, both for security purposes, but actually also to maybe help people not to see all the blocked items, for example, and things like that one. All this also applies when you actually do a lookup and things like that one at the same time. So that's the part I wanted to show about the application in here. I want to go back here to my PowerPoint and talk a little about what the solution also is in here. We release everything from 2.6 and any later version of NAV in here. We typically release within 30 days of Microsoft, so if you need to upgrade quick, you can get our solution very fast. Our segregation of duty permission set takes some work to get done, so it's typically 3 months after releasing it. We really don't care about what application you have. You can have the oldest NAV application ever. Our application is only new objects, and the field level security will actually run an install process and write the necessary changes in here. So there's really no difference of what application you have. We have a complete online help and documentation also for the solution. We typically sell this one as 2 parts, and you can buy them individually. The login and permissions is a standard NAV security, and you add it to your NAV license once, and it's $2,500. One data security can also be purchased individually, and it's also $2,500. If you get both part of the solution, it's $4,500. That's a little saving in there. You can also get training directly from mergetool.com, and it's done for a fixed price, and it's typically done inside your database, so you have a working system when we're done with it. The Lite product, as I mentioned, is supported until 2015, and it's free, and you can unlock some recording feature in here. We have some case studies on our website, and here's a couple of statements, and Antoine was actually our first customer, and he said it took him 5 minutes instead of 2 hours to do a new role in the classic world, and 90 to 95% of the time it was actually right the first time in here. So yeah, if you want more information, we have a lot of customers that already have our solution. So if you're part of NAVOC or you're coming to Innovia's conference, you can probably find somebody to talk with that already have our solution. Yes, you can find a lot more information on our website. yeah, that was what I was planning to talk about today. I don't know if you have any questions or anything like that.
We do have a couple of questions, Per. Here's our first one. How long does it take to implement security?
Oh, that's a really good one. It takes anything from no time at all to a year. And it really depends on what you want to accomplish. One of the reasons we have added quick security last year is we can actually implement security in a database within 2 to 3 hours. Field level security, if you only needed a few places in the system, it will take 3 to 4 hours, maybe a day to implement. If you want to do segregation of duties, there's quite a lot of planning on your side to be done, but the permission sets we deliver is probably saving you a week of testing and recording permission sets out there. So the real answer is anything from 2 hours and up, but we can accomplish really good security within 2 days by using our quick security and also using field level security to lock down a few other places. Yeah.
Okay, great. We do have another question. How easy will this work with the Lanham warehouse software that we have added to Nav?
Our permission sets, as we scan the source code in there, it will figure out that Lanham have added a field eShip agent service. They have added a field EDI trading partner with relationship to their tables. Source code analyzer in our edit customer role would actually add this read permission automatically, simply because it's the source code. You would have to do a few things for the posting part because more tables move around. But basically what you do is you turn on the recorder, you go through and post something that has the Lanham data on it, and now you have updated those permission sets. So for us, there's not a difference between what comes from Microsoft, what comes from an ISV, what is custom developed. It's all just considered code for our application. So we can install anything we want, or you can have any application. The recorder will capture it all. Only thing is the permission sets we deliver, that is a very good starting point. Some of those ones will potentially need a second recording based on your code in the database. But there's no difference at all. It's basically the same thing you do with Lanham or any other ISV.
Okay, and we have another question. Do field level and data security work on custom objects?
Yeah, what I actually did here, I showed it, of course, in the sales header in here. But really, when we install this one, all you do in here is you go into the field level and data security setup initially. You scan the source code so we know what pages are using which tables. And then we decide what tables do we want these features on. So it could be a custom object. It could be an payroll object, whatever object you want in here. And then you run and implement changes in code actually. And that will write the code necessary. And at the same time we run this implement, we can later on come back and delete all the changes. So you normally don't want a lot of changes in your code. And this one really is not like a normal one because they're written automatically and they're removed automatically in here also at that point. So there really is no difference if it's a custom or an ISV object. As long as you or your partner can export it to text, we can implement these features in there.
Okay, great. Well, Per, It looks like those are all of our questions. So we want to thank everybody for attending. And of course, we want to thank Per from MergeTool for this great presentation. Of course, we want to remind everybody that you can view the recording up on our website. It'll be there by this afternoon, innovia.com. And we just want to say thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody at our next webinar.